This review has been brought to you in part by Main Irish Airsoft and D-Boys. Hi, welcome back to Oddie's Airsoft, and as you've probably guessed, we're now reviewing the D-Boys M4. It's the BIM4 series, or so it says here. Now, you've just watched a bit of footage of us playing with it in field. And so this is her. Now the reason why I'm showing you this box is because I think you get a whole lot of bits for your money. What do you get? You get your standard high cap mag, you get a little holder at the front here, you know, for your vertical grip. You get some clip-on Riz rail guards, you get a charger, you get a strap for the gun, you get a little screwdriver and Allen key, and here's the dinkiest of all. With the gun you get the bog standard cleaning rod, but with the gun you get this little extension. Get rid of that, and basically what that allows you to do, as you saw from the footage of us playing, we were using the extension on this which allowed it to become a standard M4 rather than a CQB version. Because we were going out in field into a forest, we decided to put this on to extend the barrel. Now what I will say, this won't add any distance or extra distance to your gun. It just is for looks only, because the barrel still is only the CQB length. But what I will say is, I have to be honest with you, we were testing out a number of guns on the same day, and out of all of them, when I looked at this, I liked this the least. There's 0 trades on it. It's very vanilla. I mean, it does have some nice numbering systems on the Riz rails, but on the actual gun itself, there's no trades except for the usual semi-safe auto. What really stands out is when you fire it, and as you'll listen in a second, you can hear that spring. It's really, really noisy, and not so bad on full auto, but certainly it's like, as I said in the opening footage, it's like being in the bushes with Zebedee. It's just got that twang about it. Now, Chris from Main Irish Airsoft is now going to explain why that is. I'll be back in a second. This is Chris MIA. Chris, the D-Boys that we have just done a review on.
Yep.
It makes a lovely twanging sound.
Yeah.
When you fire it. What's the reason for that?
Added springiness. No bearings on the spring guide or in the piston. The spring isn't being allowed to twist when it compresses, and if it doesn't twist when it compresses, you go ba-doing, basically.
And is that a problem?
No, no problem whatsoever. A lot of people will take out the spring guide and piston and put one in that has bearings inside them. It just basically, all it does is just get rid of that twanginess. Simply. So, unless it annoys you, leave it alone.
Good stuff. Yeah. So, as you can see, that's the reason for the twang. It's not a problem. But when we took this out into field, as I said, I was sort of expecting this to be the lower performing jobby. This is a D-Boys. It's a little bit more expensive than some of the other low-end budget guns that we've been looking at. A little bit more. It's still it's still a budget gun, a lower sort of end of the market, but it's a little bit more expensive than some of the other guns that we've looked at. And that said, performance-wise, it was outstanding. Now, when I say outstanding, this is a stock gun. I can't tell you what the barrel diameter is on the inner barrel. No idea, but I can tell you this. This was ranging very close to my Masada, which has had a Mad Bull barrel put into it. Not a Mad Bull. I'll have to start this again.
Ultimate.
Ultimate, yeah. So what do I think of... No, I'm not going to say so what do I think of her. We were testing on the same day a number of guns, and to be honest with you, this was going to be, in my mind, my least favourite. Very vanilla. Didn't like the twang on it, and I thought this is going to be a bit of a pants gun to review. Oh, wrong was I. In the actual action of playing with it, I discovered that this is an out-and-out beast. Great rate of fire, but the range and accuracy on this was fabulous. Now, it ships with a standard barrel. I can't tell you what the inner barrel is, but I would imagine it's around the 605 mark. And this was ranging pretty damn close to my Magpul Masada, which has an ultimate tight ball put in it. Superb. With the hop set just so, this was going a long way, and I was getting kills at ranges I didn't think I'd hit. Very, very impressed with it. Yes, there is the twang on it. That can be sorted out if you're really pedantic about it, but do you know what? As Chris said in the video, he said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Superb piece of kit, and this actually was one of my favourites of you know, we tested 5 or 6 guns on the day, and this was one of my favourites, and I got most kills with this, and if I could have used this for the full day, I'd have been very, very happy to do so. So D-boys, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I'd love you to change that twangy noise and put some bearings in the gearbox, on the piston and the spring guide, but you know what, I would live with this. This is a nice gun for the money. If you bought this, you'd be getting a lot of gun for the money, because as I said, it can be made into the CQB version very, very quickly, or can be made look very open field M4 in seconds. No issues with it whatsoever. I know Mark probably didn't have many issues, but he's going to explain that all in a second now. But all in all, an absolute win-win from D-Boys. I mean, years ago D-Boys were a bit dodgy, as Chris will tell you now. Now Chris, you were saying that the old D-Boys were a pile of crap.
Yep.
And you had no end of...
nothing but trouble with the fucking guys.
So what's changed? Why are you stocking them now?
Basically the complete internals of the gearbox is reworked. They've different gears in them. They've stronger piston. They used to use plastic for pistons and bushings and things like that, and the bushings will be flopping around in the casing. They've gone up to metal bushings now, so there's a lot less play in them. They've changed the piston to better quality piston, and the wording and generally everything inside them is far better than what they used to be. So that's why he's gone with stocking them now.
Very good. As you can see, Chris was just saying that, you know, before the build quality of these, they weren't great, and a lot has changed since then, and D-Boys have pulled their finger out, found out what the bugs are, and cleared them out. So well done D-Boys, and certainly if you're in the market for just something vanilla-esque, but wanting it to do the job it's paid to do, I would have a look at this. So over to Mark. Right, so you may be wondering, well, you know, beforehand we always used to get just one of us would review a gun. So this, the last series of videos might be surprising you a bit. Because we had a few guns to run through, we want to make sure we got a fair and objective assessment of each one. So we both played with each gun for 1 or 2 games each, just to get a fair view. So, D-Boys M4. Very generic, very vanilla. I have to admit, I didn't even realise we were playing with the extended barrel. I didn't realise that was a feature that Jerry put on before he handed it to me. D-Boys in the past had a solid reputation as a manufacturer of sort of mid-range guns. They seem to have lost their way a little bit, but on the evidence of this gun, I can see them beginning to regain their reputation in that particular price bracket. As Jerry said, and I have to agree with him, this gun is a solid performer. Once I adjusted the hop, it was very, very consistent in terms of range. Okay, the accuracy, the consistency of where the BBs went, you could tell it wasn't a tight bore barrel, and you can tell it's only a short CQB length barrel inside. But in terms of range, very, very effective indeed. I got a good number of kills with this. Nice rate of fire, not excessive, but you know, a nice rate of fire that a quick burst will give you, say, 3 BBs. So yeah, being the first D-Boys gun I ever used, I have to say I'm very impressed indeed. Now, the only real thing I could nitpick about is the stock. The moulding on the stock isn't great. There's a few crease lines and stuff which aren't aesthetically pleasing, but you know what? It does what it says on the tin. It's just a stock. It's there to rest your shoulder against, rest your cheek on, and hold the batteries. So I can't really say anything negative about this gun. No issues with feeding from my G&G high caps. The hop worked fine once it was set. It was consistent, and the BBs went where I fired them. So yeah, some thumbs up D-Boys.